Hello everyone and welcome to the Lemurian Starchild Template. I am Mikael Kroon.
I'm Leanne, carpenter.
Let's turn this around a bit so you're on the screen.
Yeah.
Leanne Carpenter.
Yeah.
It's good you're here. I don't want to hide your face with this actually.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah. And today we've got our guest Richard Modlock, sorry. Hi Richard.
Okay. Hi.
Great to have you here.
Lots of people can't say Modlock. It's okay. It's normal. Christian Denmark.
Yeah. Well, it's a great name. It's a beautiful name. You know, I've got Mikael Kroon, and then I turned out to channel Archangel Michael. So that and crown, you know, like the crown chakra. Like, how perfect is that?
Yeah, empowering yourself to be the spiritual leader. Wear the crown with pride.
Yeah, and you know, it's kind of like I knew all these people who've changed their name, and then I was thinking to change my name, but then I kind of found out, you know, all about it, and I started to see all the deeper meanings, like why I got that name in the first place. So that's amazing. But anyway, so welcome everyone who's watching, and we are back with the Lemurian Starchild template. We haven't been on for some time. I think the last one was sort of 2019.
It's been about a year
kind
ago.
of a year ago. Yeah. And we had some wonderful, you know, wonderful series with readings for different people, like different friends that we're in touch with, and you know, we've kind of deepened the relationship with them because we, you know, learned so much about the energies, and we learned about the deeper meanings of the cards, and we do this through a reading, which is the Lemurian Starchild Reading, which has got 7 different inner children.
Yeah, so we put these cards down just to as placeholders, and because they each represent a different aspect of a situation or of ourselves, and can give us kind of insights into anything really. And I guess, you know, that's what we want to do today, is to connect in and open ourselves, open our hearts, and bring through you know, the wisdom and the healing and the guidance for everybody at this time, as we face this situation at the moment in the world, you know, with the coronavirus.
Yeah, and I just have one little question for you, Rick.
Yeah?
I didn't think of it before, but can you go to the screen on your computer and sort of hover over it with the mouse, and then go to a speaker, just double click on your own. Hold on. Maybe I need to do it actually. Oh, you don't need to do anything actually. Sorry.
Oh, that's just really good at.
No, I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Better.
Yeah, I fixed it. We need to get you a little bit bigger. Yeah. So, I was just thinking about the... no?
That big.
We're all huge light beings. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it used to be like, we're in these tribes, you know, and like this natural wisdom, like the Aboriginals or the Lemurians, or, you know, the Native Americans, or even like in India, where they've got this natural wisdom, or any country, and you know, if someone died or was going to die, they just sort of accepted it, or if something, if a disease happened, they just sort of had a natural inner knowing, like, okay, maybe it's time for this person, or maybe they thought the gods want this, but the natural acceptance and in today's world, I feel we need to go back to that trust almost. Obviously, we're socializing, or let's say not socializing, because of the context that we're in this society. We're taking care, but also, when you're ill, or when you feel unwell, or when you feel well, it's all an opportunity to go back to this natural trust, in our own system, and so that's what we're all kind of reminded to. And obviously, like I said before, it's like we're not in a bubble, like the people that do realize their true nature are not separated or superior or something from the rest of society. So we're all taking care in this world together in this, but at the same time it's like, wow, what is this showing us for ourselves and as a species, isn't it? About trust in the divine and in our own body.
So this reading you're going to do is going to be for everyone who's watching. It's as if we've got some sort of something in the collective consciousness, and something rearing of all the people who are watching this wherever they are in the world. Because this is collective, the whole world. This is a pandemic, so everyone's in it together.
Yeah, that's right. So we're going to do a reading for the people around us, for humanity, and also just see how we link into that in our own journey, because we're each part of the journey. So that will be an interesting thing, because this is about the inner children. So the inner children are the kind of symbolic for, let's just say, our healing process, like aspects in our healing process, both on a personal and collective scale.
Like archetypes.
I'll give you a couple of examples. Like the Blu-ray being is our divine purpose, and and we've got the reading here, but we've also got the picture on the screen, which helps to understand the reading. So you start with the Blu-ray being, then go to the dolphin baby, which is really connected to our dreams from a place of innocence, whereas the indigo child, which is the one after that, is more about our almost like rebellious side, but also our kind of inner power.
I'd just like to add, like our will to action, that sometimes isn't necessarily it's like a vision of what things should be like, or what you feel they should be like, but you can't always your lesson in that stage is kind of like how to bridge the vision into reality, kind of thing. In a when it involves kind of a community or the cooperation of other people, and it's kind of often that notion of kind of not really being quite sure how to implement something or how to make something happen, or and so that's like a stage in the journey, isn't it? Often having a vision, like a clear vision, but not necessarily waiting for the rest of the energies to kind of come through to help you kind of bring that into the reality, into the physical.
Does that make sense so far, Rick?
Yeah. The interesting bit was the first part for me. You mentioned the Blu-ray being.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I met you guys, I walked into Glastonbury.
That's right.
And the two cards that brought me in to your shop were the Blu-ray being and Peace Beyond Survival. I know Peace Beyond Survival, I don't think it's come out in the reading today, So we'll leave that aside. But
Well, it
the
might
Blu-ray,
do.
Yeah, it might do. Yeah.
These are placeholders for the reading. So
Yeah, you've got to explain that.
Yeah.
So these cards are like a template. Beautiful. Yeah, you've got it as well. These are like yeah.
it's a layout.
So
Yeah, so this is like a reading layout, and this is a placeholder for the reading cards that we pick.
okay, so this is going to be, you're going to be picking cards which relates to the 7 aspects which you're talking about now.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what does the Blu-ray mean to you, Rick?
Well, what it looked like to me, it looked to be both my past and my future.
Right.
Mm.
That's interesting.
I don't know how that comes through with your interpretations, but that's what it was calling to me. It was calling to me that this is where you've come from, and this is where you're going to be returning into this wonderful being. And you can see that the third eye on this card. I don't know if I can hold it up again. The third eye chakra on this card. I'm really confused with like directions.
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the third eye is just shining beautifully. And then if I can work out my reverse directions a bit better.
Very well done. Yeah.
Throat chakra is absolutely filled with divine truth, and it's a divine truth that's coming in both directions. It's like this. It's like a Merkaba, isn't it? It's like the Merkaba associated with Archangel Metatron.
That's right.
With the 13 points, and it's as if that divine truth is just coming through that card. And again, it's got a lot of water in it as well. So you know, it's both. For me, the water was partly to do with the emotions, and also obviously partly with being called Lemurian cards. I think, you know, there's a lot of this water energy with the Lemurian, without the Lemurian part of our history. So that was really nice for me to see that card, and that together with the Peace Beyond Survival, they were the two that dragged me into your shop when you were first releasing the cards, and then just instantly connected. And again, that Peace Through Survival, you know, it's got a lion and a sheep lying down together. And it's also what you were talking about at the beginning, that in older societies, people accepted that the physical body was going to die, because we are not our physical bodies. We are so much more than that. And it's only the ego that dies with the physical body, and the rest of us continues. So our peace actually goes beyond whether survival or not survival.
Yeah. Yeah,
absolutely.
I sort of, you know, realized that we've got this like high truth where, you know, we're basically beyond, you know, the death of the physical and all that. And then we've got where most people are, which is deeply into kind of emotional fear and at the moment, and it's kind of like how to bridge the two, right? Because you know, if everyone who's completely unafraid of the virus like just catches it and infects the rest or something like that, then those people who are in fear are going to be in more fear. So I feel that's why we need to be careful somehow, and at the same time just see through it, because you know, it's really fear about nothing really, about leaving the body, going somewhere else. It's a fear about that the divine wouldn't, like, you know, let you live at in divine timing and go somewhere else in divine timing, because it's all divine order. It's all, you know, it's all like the bigger works kind of thing. People don't die like by accident. So, but we can bridge those two.
I guess
poles,
the way
right?
I see it from like another perspective is that actually this is like an initiation for a lot of people.
Mm.
This is something that perhaps we might, as what some people call way showers or whatever, have already been through in our lives, is this like facing death and staying present and not avoiding it, or not being able to avoid it, not being able to run away from it. And I know myself, I've had like 2 near-death experiences in a way. Obviously last year and before an operation, where in the previous operation I nearly did die. So like coming into the second one, I had to face that fear, and I think it was a massive portal for me and a massive initiation. And I think for a lot of people, there is this possibility for people to kind of, especially as nowadays it's really mainstream to practice mindfulness and things like that can help you stay in the body and not dissociate whilst you're facing a fear, such as like the fear of death, just by remaining present and breathing through whatever is arising in your body as you face these basically what are just ideas and notions at the end of the day. Because in that moment, are you literally dying? No, you're anticipating and projecting into the future about this thing called death. And I think if you're opening to be present with yourself in that loving way, you're opening also to your higher levels, aren't you? And you're opening to your light and love family, your angelic family and your guides, just through being in that vibration. And we do have this family of light around us who want to support us. And so kind of I'm thinking it's like an initiation for for many people that might have never considered their mortality in that way. They might have always avoided that because our society encourages that kind of mindset, more than other cultures, and certainly like the ancient cultures, like you were saying. There isn't quite the open kind of discussion so much about death, but this is changing because people are starting to have things like doulas to help people cross over, and death cafes where you can go and talk about death, because it's almost like taboo.
Yeah. So I have an idea, guys. Let's do an introductory meditation.
Yes.
And I've got an idea because we've got these 7 cards, and when we do this meditation, I'd like everyone, including us, to pick one of these children as kind of an idea of where you are with the journey at the moment. Like if you think about, like if the sort of virus outbreak is occupying your mind, like which inner child would kind of signify how you deal with that at this moment. Or if it's another issue that you're facing in this moment, you could just choose one of the 7, like intuitively, because we're gonna draw a card for each of the 7. So, when we draw a card for yours, when you've picked one of the 7, you could see which card is for you as well, people who are watching. So let's tune in. I'm going to tune into Archangel Michael, and let's start with the cards after that. Each time. I am Archangel Michael. Allow your breath to take you into the symbology of the cards, into the deeper meanings of the cards, so that this transmission, this broadcast, can be a point of guidance for you too. Guidance comes in many ways. And today it can come through cards from the Lemurian Starchild Oracle. Breathe in and out. Breathe in light. Breathe in love and strength. And allow your breath to take you on a journey now. Allow your breath to take you on a journey deep into your own heart and into the present moment. Because everything that has been, everything that you've experienced is now only an energy in the now. And we allow our energy fields to clear, to purify, to cleanse, so that they become like a very bright color and illuminating color. A color that brings you to a place of inner peace, inner stability, inner immunity to whatever energies are going around. Energies, emotions and words and thoughts from the collective can sometimes feel like a little electrical pulse and a little electrical shock. Allow it all to dissipate in this moment. Allow your mind, your heart to be clear in this moment. Take another deep breath. Another sacred geometry from the angels and archangels in your heart, in your body. And know that you are free and you are sovereign in your energy field, unaffected by any busyness. I am Archangel Michael. Thank you for receiving these messages. So take a deep breath, and hopefully one of the 7 cards on the screen has come into your mind and your heart now. It's kind of popped in as a main focus. And for myself, I'm getting the dolphin baby. So that's interesting. The inner child's dreams. Kind of the flow. And just manifestation from love and kind of childlike wonder kind of thing.
This is the one I'm getting. It's called Crystal Child.
Oh, you're getting the Crystal Child.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah. That's the one that's calling to me as well.
Oh, we've got
Is
two
it?
Crystal Children.
Yeah, like frequencies. That one's
Yeah.
all about.
So everyone in the chat, you know, if you would be so kind to say which car has come to you, because that would be very interesting to share. with each other. If you want to share, obviously, but I think you want to share. If you just want to watch, that's okay too, obviously. But we are interested. So I'm shuffling the cards.
There's one here as well.
Oh, the star connection.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So we're gonna start with the Blu-ray being, guys. And this is the purpose, you know, our purpose, but the purpose of humanity as well. Let's look at.
It's like the divine blueprint.
Yeah, divine blueprint. Let's see what's coming up for the divine blueprint. From my love, Ian.
I don't know which one it is.
Exciting. Let your hands guide you, darling. Oh, it's observe.
So I put it here.
Yeah.
So that's the observe card that's come out for the Blu-ray.
Yeah, what are the keywords?
Loving eyes see all. Equanimity. See the truth. Step back.
Okay. So I feel this is almost for a lot of people, you know, that are maybe going between fear and awakening. It's kind of saying,
excuse me,
at the moment observing helps to expand our consciousness, and that observing is a journey. To me, observing is a journey. It's not just like a scientist you're observing, but it's actually going into the energies, but being able to step back again as well. It's a dance, you know. To me, observing is a dance. It's not just
total
being
detachment.
kind of, yeah, like a Zen monk or something like that. But if you're in that dance, if you are able to kind of own, okay, I'm afraid, but then you're able to take a step back again, you know, and just look at what is that fear really. Maybe it's just a sensation in my body, you know, and if I can just feel that sensation and be the awareness of the sensation and not just a afraid little person kind of thing who's, you know, just
feeling
shutting the doors to everything kind of thing. Yeah. So and it's like that is, you know, because I feel that's where many people are, because when you get into a certain level of fear, sometimes it's like a light bulb goes on, because it's like, why am I in this? Do I want to be in this state of fear? And that's when your light family comes in. What do you get about this, Rick?
Yeah, I'm also got this idea that it's also saying step back, as if you're going to look at a bigger picture. So when you're stepping back, I remember a few years ago, one of my clients in a regression, the angels were coming through and saying, sometimes you humans, you get so tied up, you're so frustrated because there was maybe 3 days that were really, really bad in that lifetime. But it was over 50 years, and you're so far on 3 days, and you can't see that you had 3 bad days in 50 years. And maybe this step back is saying, "Oh, hang on, we're going to have like a few weeks where we're staying home, where we can't go to pubs and nightclubs, we can't entertain ourselves. Look at it from a higher perspective for a moment, and step back and see. Firstly, this is just a very, very short time." That everyone's going, oh no, let's go and buy some more toilet papers. What can we do? And at the same time, let's look at, from the higher perspective, what's happening in the world at the moment, that people are staying at home instead of going to the pub, instead of watching football. They're at home with their wife, kids. They're resolving family issues, family karma, coming together closer as families. There's time for people to meditate and do yoga, to do art, to dance, to sing, to make love. And then when we all come out of this in a few weeks' time or a few months or whatever it is, then let's just not hold on to the old fears. We're going to have to just move into continuing to make choices which are more healthy, more compassionate, and more wise. And I think that when we come out of this, the other side, we'll be looking back like this wise owl and observing and saying, hey, that was pretty good. Okay, not the virus, not the, of course, compassion for, thousands of people dying and people losing family members and stuff like that. But the fact that we're not all running out having to buy a new iPhone and we're not all running out buying a new television, pollution is being reduced. There's dolphins coming back to the lagoon in Venice. There's swans. There's water pollution is all being hugely improved if you take a much bigger picture. And we're moving into a still place at home with our families, with our loved ones, and really coming into our hearts.
And yeah, definitely. I mean, there's the potential, isn't there? And it's interesting because the divine, or the Blu-ray being, is like and it's like the first ray for me, and it's like direct divine expression. And this Metatron's cube at the bottom for me is like the potentials, like that moment when you're fully conscious of your ability as kind of co-creator. And we're seeing these potentials like dolphins in the canals in Venice, swans. Maybe people would never have ever imagined that could happen. With dolphins coming into the canals. That's so beautiful, isn't it? And maybe people. The other thing is like we get stuck, don't we, in habits that we just keep replaying over and over again. And this is like a massive interruption to those habits. So people might think, oh, I can't survive without going to the pub, or I can't survive without going to the footy on Saturday. It's their mind will think that.
It's been very hard.
Yeah. For some people, of course, there is like, maybe an addiction as well that they're going to have to kind of face at this time where they haven't got those normal avoidance strategies. It's going to bring a lot of stuff maybe up to the forefront, and this is a real opportunity for people to like look at what is emerging, what feelings are normally repressed but are coming up, in this time, and it's a real opportunity to actually start to bring some healing to some of that and to open up as well, because there's like close quarters, which maybe are normally avoided. Basically, intimacy and kind of connection and emotional connection are kind of being really given an opportunity to flourish, aren't they now? Where sometimes people kind of avoid it through workaholism and just generally kind of trying to not go there because it is associated with pain, perhaps from childhood. Like being close might be associated with being let down or criticised or rejected. And so this is like a real opportunity for people to like heal those wounds, where they can't actually escape from them in the normal way that kind of society provides. And so I guess if people understand that even it's like a cloud, there is a silver lining in the potentials. Obviously potentials can go either way, can't they? And the card that's been kind of brought to us for that place on the reading is observe, and it's saying about equanimity, which to me is all about the crown chakra, interestingly. I've always got that cough. Yeah, it's like equanimity, letting go of our attachments, and we've probably all got attachments if we haven't been working on them consciously, to these external things. And there's that opportunity to go within and to find the resources within yourself.
And equanimity is also like most of our life we're engaged in wanting good things to happen and not wanting bad things to happen. And now that's out of our control. All the plans that we've been making for March and April and May. Like John Lennon once said, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans.
And there's a really old-fashioned saying, man proposes, God disposes, which is basically, like we make these plans, but they're not always going to be part of the bigger plan that wants to come through. Not that I'm saying that God wants to make people suffer or anything like that, but suffering is often the only way that people will go within and listen. I think we often find, don't we, that it's at times of great suffering in our own lives where things go completely against what we planned and what we thought would happen. We realise how much we'd put our faith in external things, maybe more than within ourselves and within spirit as well.
And it's also got this loving eyes see all, loving eyes everything. So again, you're coming into that accepting all the different parts of yourself in that as well, isn't it? In a way, that's also part of it.
Definitely.
The cards, the Divine Feminine came up, and that was very much for me about equalizing the inner masculine and inner feminine within myself to stop the conflicts which are being projected outside. So again, that's that loving eyes, is seeing yourself with the eyes of love.
Yeah, it's so powerful.
Reflecting parts within yourself, the divine masculine, the divine feminine, seeing them all with the eyes of love and compassion. Just letting love and compassion of the universe just flow in and really completely heal all the duality inside. And that's the only way that we can end the conflict outside, is when we've gone inside and healed the duality that we're holding within ourselves.
Definitely.
Originally, back to the first separation from source, into feminine, yin and yang, and moving down through all the various layers of separation that have happened since.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, that one of the other things at this time is, I think it's, the Lemurian energies have come in so strongly within the spiritual community in the last kind of 15 years, but especially in the last 10 and 5, and it is such a watery memory for people, when they remember Lemuria. There's something about water for a lot of people when they remember Lemuria. For me, it was remembering being able to breathe underwater and just being in real bliss. And I think it was the ethers, because I had a body, but it wasn't like a physical body. It was more fluid. It was, so I think when people talk about, like, this feels kind of biblical at the moment, what's going on, and it's made me think of, the flood, in the Bible, and how there was a bird kind of found a bit of land, you know, after I don't know how long they were on the sea. And you know, that to me kind of relates to Lemuria and Atlantis as well, because obviously they were said to have kind of gone in under the waters. And I was kind of thinking, in a way, Lemuria coming up at this time is almost like bringing that bright little twig of leaves, you know, of hope. Yeah. Saying there is another way, kind of thing. You know, there is a peaceful land to come to, because that's what Lemuria is to me. Is like a template for living, you know, in a way that's sustainable and in balance, and you know, able to.
That story is an amazing piece of trust, because they let the bird out. If the bird was only thinking of himself, then he's going to stay on the land.
Yeah.
But no, he finds a twig and takes it, really tired after flying for miles and miles across the open ocean. I guess he's not a seagull. Yeah. And then I think he was a dove, actually.
I think he was a dove, yeah.
Doesn't stop for eating a few seeds and having a little sleep. He picks a twig and brings it with a leaf, and brings it back across miles and miles of ocean, and gives it to Noah and says, "Come on, it's this way, guys."
Yeah.
So that sacrifice for the higher good, isn't it? He's taking the whole ship with him. He's not just going to leave. He's not just going, "Hey, look at that! There's a female dove over there." No. Yeah. He's like, "Let's just go and get everyone else. This is great."
Yeah.
So that's self-sacrifice and going ahead, going first, and leading everyone else where we need to all go. Not just thinking, "We're in paradise. This is nirvana." It's like, no, I'm going to be like a Buddha. I'm going to take everyone with me.
Yeah.
Darling, could you have a look how people are doing on the
chat?
On the chat.
Drop to? Battery's about to go.
Well, then we're just in time.
There. Oh, Vicky Foster.
Yeah. Great, Vicky, you're here, and Joe Dance is watching.
Yeah.
Ah, Vicky's got a rainbow child.
Oh, lovely.
She's missed seeing us.
Yeah.
And Natalia's watching as well.
Oh, that's nice. Hi, Natalia. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Joe.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Well, let's draw a card for the dolphin baby, guys.
Yeah.
That's for me, isn't it? I'll draw it.
Okay. I'll just.
So the dolphin baby, our inner child's dreams and all that, and really that connection with Lemuria and with the flow and all of that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna draw on here to arise.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Arise, dolphin baby. Brilliant. So that tells me, you know, allow your inner child to play, and that playfulness, and that allow yourself to shine. For me, because I was drawn to the dolphin baby.
So there's the dolphin baby.
Yeah.
And the key words for that one are Lemurian origin, flow, timeless, adaptable, free. Take your time. And this is arise. And the know and flow as the love you are, bliss.
Yeah, that is wonderful news.
And
I really feel that, you know, I was clearing some stuff as well in the morning. And a lot of it was biblical, you know, so maybe that's coming up for more people, where we let go of vows of sacrifice and suffering. We're just letting go of the whole concept of all of that.
Yeah.
To arise in who we truly are, to arise in our playfulness, to arise in creator consciousness. and really show ourselves. I think that's sort of the message for me, is just show myself, kind of show my light, and don't hold back.
And this is the kind of number 1 card in the deck, isn't it? But it is.
Is it?
Yeah, it's got its own category. It's the
Yeah.
And it's
reading about that. I've never got this card before, actually, and I'm just looking through the deck to find it. Because you guys are the experts in this stuff.
Well,
yeah,
it represents,
Go on,
the Lemurian Starchild, doesn't it? The kind of the actualized blueprint on Earth that we remember from times like Lemuria, where we didn't have separation consciousness at that point.
So we've got an interesting journey so far. We've got, the first one was to observe and kind of let go of the old paradigm of suffering, of sacrifice, duality. And when we let go, we get into this arising of our love and our dreams, kind of manifesting our dreams. That's what I really feel with this one as well.
Yeah.
Manifesting our dreams and manifesting, that manifestation, like even if we have to stay inside today, for example, well, we don't have to, but we do stay inside a lot. We are still manifesting because we're still tuning into the whole kind of cosmic lattice work. We're tuning into the higher realms, the higher levels, the higher self, and we're already envisioning what we're going to create. We're already drawing in the connections with the right people. We're already drawing in certain events, because for example we might do another exhibition. I'm still envisioning that, about touching source, and we did one last year that Rick visited, which was the Lemurian Starchild portals, where that's where we met, didn't we? Yeah. So these manifestations, we gotta see them beyond space and time, beyond 3D limitations. Don't be held back by all the fear that's around, Don't be held back by, the beliefs that are kind of set in stone.
Yeah, definitely.
Because when we go to the higher realms, we are unlimited.
Absolutely.
So that is, draw that in, the manifestation to bring it out.
That's really positive, isn't it?
Yeah, because that was wonderful, that Portals exhibition.
Yeah.
We were able to share the deck with so many people, and
people came in canvases. And just connected in the space.
Yeah.
It was so many beautiful energies there.
A lot of people came in a few weeks.
I really feel, this is like a really positive card to have here. And this card underneath, the dolphin baby, is really reminding us, don't lose touch with your dreams of your heart.
Yeah.
In amongst this situation.
Yeah, don't be held back to share your dreams with others. Even though they might be in a whole different state, they might still be inspired.
Yeah, something
positively by your dreams.
And dreams are like nebulous, aren't they? They're just kind of often, sort of vague, and that's how the energy kind of comes in, isn't it? It kind of comes in as a sort of like a vague feeling or aspiration, when you're daydreaming. You don't want to put too many limitations on how exactly it's going to manifest, but just be open to the highest, manifestation of that divine spark of, imagination or inspiration.
Yeah, and the other thing I really observe, because the observe card is going kind of from the solar plex to the heart.
Yeah.
So, you know, right now, for a lot of people, have got their solar plex, which is kind of here, is like this, you know, and we can allow that energy to kind of rise up, go back to source, and we get an expansion kind of from our heart, you know. That's where we're going.
Allow it to flow.
You
know, this water here. Allowing
lots of water again coming through, eh? Lots of water and the dolphins coming through.
And yeah, the dolphins are so playful, and we've got the dolphins on both cards, you know, and the dolphins coming into the water in Venice. It's like a really joyful sign. I don't know if you saw the actual video of that dolphin doing little twirls in the water and kind of coming to the side of the canal. It was absolutely beautiful. And maybe the dolphin energy is coming in for us to help us to play, to enjoy, to relax the time at home, you know, to trust the universe, trust the flow, the ocean of love, you know, that wants to support us.
So there we go, isn't it? Like, we've got this whole solar plex idea is going on like something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And actually the universe is showing us, you know, observe that, but arise in your dreams.
Yeah.
So so we're going with the indigo, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just thinking in terms of that solar plexus heart chakra thing you were mentioning earlier. You were working, Michael, on a lot of releasing that was almost biblical, and for me, the connection between our solar plexus and our heart is often blocked by this energy across our liver and over to the spleen, which is often to do with anger and bitterness and holding grudges. And I think, you know, maybe what you were talking about earlier was a bit of forgiveness. I'm being reminded that we need to forgive. Forgiving others is part of it. But also, when you're talking about the biblical stuff, about the vows that we've had as monks and nuns in previous lives that still feel like they're holding us back sometimes, is also to forgive ourselves, which is often a lot harder than forgiving the others. And that's maybe part of bringing that dolphin baby. I need my glasses to see what the dolphin baby's saying about, but yeah, to bring that flow and that timeless freedom. It says also take your time. So again, that's like, don't push too much, just gently release. And then moving from the baby dolphin with the nice smiley face to the absolutely beautiful Lemurian goddess with the grown-up dolphins here, and then it's also got these really playful dolphins. So even the grown-up dolphins have got this playful aspect that's jumping up. So it's a really, really nice combination of cards.
Yeah, well, thank you for the little reading. I think you're spot on, Rick. That sounds, it's very true. Like, it's like cleansing those organs. And sometimes, you know, we can have events in our life, like we had last year, that bring up a lot of stuff that might have been already there, but it just gets like pushed to the surface, you know, and it can take some time to release that. But it's a benevolent process. It's important to let go and, you know, forgive, as you said, and I guess surrender and trust. Trust my guides, trust the divine, trust kind of divine will, which to me is often so much more real than kind of personal choice and all that, you know. So we've got the indigo. You know what the indigo means, Rick?
No idea. You're going to tell me though, aren't you? I'm starting to see us use this because I'm guessing now that when I find the indigo, it's going to be number 3 with a heart on it. Is that
That's
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I know what the system is.
And it's going to have a pink background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could have done some homework, couldn't I?
Oh, don't worry. Do you want to say what the indigo is, stuff?
Yeah, well, the
Give
key
my
words are
police.
inspire, heart, dialogue, action, passion, and community.
So what would it be symbolic for in this crisis
for the collective
kind of thing, for the collective?
Let's have a look. I guess for me it's about when people kind of act out because they know what they want and they can't see a way of getting it, and that makes them frustrated.
Right.
You know, because I think this is like a real learning stage. You know, this is how I relate to it from my own life and my own recognition of the indigo child in myself, as well as all the other aspects. You know, that was what it was like. It was you know, seeing what needed to happen. For example, you know, people seeing that they think, oh well, I might not be able to go out for 2 weeks, so I need to have 2 weeks of food. But then they're going to the shop and not getting it, and then just kind of having a tantrum. You know.
Yeah, I mean, some people have said that you know, if humanity would have an age, they would be teenager.
Yeah.
For example, so that
good.
kind of could relate to that, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, because you know, we're not used in this country to not having things the way they've always been. You know, people don't like change, and this is like a massive change that people are facing.
Because the indigo can sometimes also mean like resistance, right?
Yeah.
Resistance to change, but then when you embrace the change, it's about sort of community building.
Yeah.
Like helping each other in communities and.
It's finding that way of actually
active.
finding people to connect to that have the same vision and that have that shared kind of desire.
Okay, so let's...
And finding a way of doing it that is productive and not destructive. Yeah.
So let's look at resistance and resolve, right? Let's call it that.
Guys, I'm thinking Greater Tromberg.
Oh yeah.
When I'm talking about, you know, the way that she's created community in the absolute most adverse situations.
Yeah.
Right.
Of the destruction of our environment.
Yeah.
And yet she created a community of young people.
Yeah.
Who are all inspired, heart-based, engaging in dialogue, engaging in non-violent action.
Yeah.
Passion, creating community. So I'm thinking like this is like Greater Tromberg, this girl.
Yeah.
Right.
Going girl, yeah.
She's really
Some
got
people.
it. Yeah. So this is the card.
Well, good you're both holding it up. That looks great, actually.
Yeah.
Can you hold it up a bit more?
This one?
Yeah. Then we get them both on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is a very interesting combination, guys. I haven't seen that before. The indigo child, which is very kind of action-based. And then we've got the tree of life, which is almost about, you know, not needing to move.
Yeah.
So what is that telling us? It's almost saying, you've been so used to sometimes acting out, you know, doing, and you know, it's time to have a little break and look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And see everything from, you know, 1,000 feet, like on an airplane.
Yeah.
Expand your vision. Because your action might, you know, well, for some people is required, but for a lot of people their action is not required at the moment.
Yeah.
So they are confronted with simply, you know, being, or not needing to do anything when they've always been doing stuff.
Yeah.
And it's kind of showing them the bigger, giving them a sense of the bigger workings of life. It's giving them a sense of that there are other perspectives even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, this card is also quite esoteric kind of understanding is, how we are each the tree of life, and our toroidal energy field is like this tree of life, where energy kind of comes up and goes round and it feeds the roots. And to me, this is like the manifest world, and this is the unmanifest, the inner world. And it's like we often spend our lives focusing on what's going on in the branches and forget to understand the creative nature of the roots, and how the roots are actually going to have a big impact on the quality of the fruit, for example, of our lives. And so a lot of people have kind of said, how have we manifested this virus? And I don't know if I could say I have any idea about that, but that's the thing. We do manifest things based on what's going on within our own energies. And I mean, I know when we're almost we almost socialized to become addicted to adrenaline, with like Hollywood films and drama and just kind of emergency situations, like loads of documentaries about police emergencies, hospital emergencies. It's all kind of because in some ways we've kind of got a bit addicted to adrenaline, and just being calm can feel a bit boring for people. And
there's a solar plex again, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I'm just kind of thinking, like when we watch a film, in a way that is like energy or food that we're putting on our roots. Like, are we watching a film that's really scary? That's kind of putting stuff into our subconscious and our unconscious. Scary ideas, scary images, feelings, that kind of thing. And I know that our conscious minds can tell the difference between a film and what's real and what isn't real, but our unconscious minds tend to kind of latch on to everything that it's kind of given and just see it as real in a way. And I know myself, like I can remember watching Jurassic Park and then having a nightmare that week that I was being chased down the road by a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And my unconscious was telling me, I had no idea that wasn't real. It just thought it was real, and I needed to hide and get out of the way of this Tyrannosaurus Rex. And
there are these big war films where everyone's going around shooting people and doing really nasty stuff to each other. It's even though our conscious mind knows that this isn't happening, we don't know quite what's going into the subconscious at the same time.
Yeah, and the chemicals in the body.
And if you look at this age, like this, I'm really bad at this, finding the camera thing there. This young child here, a teenager, my teenage and 20-year-old kids, they're not content with one thing. They're going to have the telly on, and they're going to have an iPhone in their hand, and maybe they've got a pad going as well. And so they're getting absolutely bombarded by 2 or 3
I can hear someone in the background.
Yeah, this is one of the offspring of my tree of life, the nuts tree. She's just come in with her mum. So that's what I observed with a lot of youngsters as well, not just mine, but they're not happy with just having their mind taken away from the actuality of their life by just the television. They've got to have everything going at the same time. They've got 2 or 3 screens to keep their to prevent their mind from being still.
Yeah, and it, you know, society kind of encourages all of that, so we can't blame anyone.
I mean, I can get in that mode as well. I don't like watching telly, but just the mental activity mode. Yeah, definitely comes up.
Yeah, I can remember a time when I think I didn't have a TV or something, and the thought of having like no radio on, no TV on. This was a long time ago when I was kind of teenager. I was really kind of freaked out by that because it felt really scary to not have anything distracting me. And you know, it's just about practice, you know, and you get used to something, and now, you know, it doesn't remotely bother me because I can be in my own company and be at peace. But you know, it's not always so easy, you know, if you're just not used to it. It's like anything you're not used to, it's a bit scary, like DIY or something, power tools.
Having to be in your own thoughts and not having anyone. And also they're so used to the multimedia, the social media and the television telling them what they should be thinking.
Yeah.
So really difficult to be alone and dealing with this period at the current time.
Yes.
So I want to ask you something, Rick. For the Earth Angel, you know, we had because we had your lovely meditation a few days ago. I thought maybe you could get some guidance from the angels. Do you feel like that?
About this card?
About the next one.
About the next one. Okay, yeah. This is another little point to make about this card as well, was that for me the Tree of Life actually embraces all life. So it's about unity.
Yeah, definitely.
In every living thing as being part of the same tree of Yggdrasil that's got the roots right down in Mother Earth's heart. And the branch stretching up to heaven. You know, it's a wonderful yoga posture as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's about eternal life. It's about, you know, almost not needing to move to spread the seeds, but just being and seeing beyond separation, seeing beyond kind of time and space, and really feeling that vastness, and that is, in a way, you know, a beautiful way to nurture ourselves.
Absolutely. And we are,
and the whole.
We're forced to be in space in this current time, because we're not allowed to go out doing all the going out stuff that we normally entertain ourselves with. We are home, so we are bringing down heaven, taking it through our chakra system, sending it into our roots in the place we are right now, without having to run off to a summer house or take a plane to the Bahamas. It's all here.
Yeah.
All here in heaven and earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful.
Definitely.
Well, let's get to the Earth Angel.
The Earth Angel, yeah. I've got the. Well, I've lost my glasses. But I found them again. They were right here by my roots. Kindness, sensitivity is strength. A higher perspective and bringing in your divine abilities.
So we've got guidance.
So finding the strength in being sensitive, you know, because for men, I think a lot, and definitely in the background that I was brought up with in London, sensitive people weren't considered to be strong. Sensitive always got bullied. And then to find the strength to in spite of whatever background you've come through, finding a higher perspective in everything, and then inviting your abilities to come through. And I'm thinking not only your abilities, but also your power that's coming through from all the previous incarnations you've had. And now I have to get a card that tells me something about that. This is going to be so cool. Because my cards are spread everywhere at the moment. And I want to put the ones that I was playing with before in the pack, so they've got a chance of coming out.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So I'm just going to ask the divine guidance from above to really, and Michael was saying that Michael's going to help a lot, so that's cool. See what we're going to see, what Michael wants us to see as a collective. Ooh. Oh, I wonder how that works. Oh, well, there we are. Let's throw ourselves into this. I got fire and water.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stillness.
Yeah. So we've got guidance and fire and water.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Where is it? There we go.
Stillness and turmoil.
Yeah. Perfect.
And integrate emotionally. Emotional integration. And that was in relation to the Earth Angel, kindness and sense. And developing your divine abilities. So finding the stillness in the current situation, there's an absolute, for people who haven't got these cards at home, there's an absolute volcano going on in the background. And you're holding up to the camera much better than I am, thank you. An absolute volcano exploding in the background with enormous power.
That is interesting. One time I was at a retreat. This is like years and years ago. And it was a silent retreat. You're actually not allowed to talk. And we were going to draw something. So I felt very good. But then I started to draw and this volcano came out. And the next day something happened and I got really angry. Yeah. So, but this, this is about the emotional process. It's very interesting. We can sometimes feel like we're being sort of tossed between two poles or something like that, going back and forth. But integrating them.
Can't make it.
And then we've got the other one, guidance. Because we also started to draw a card, and we got the guidance, which is kind of telling me that the Earth Angel is also a guide for many others, like the Earth Angels on this planet. Definitely. There's so much need for emotional guidance and spiritual guidance. So those people who are sensitive, they've got a lot of work. They need to look after themselves as well. Because there's a lot of demand. Yeah,
and to trust their guidance as well, because I think Earth Angel sort of personality is that real sensitivity and softness, isn't it? And kindness and open-heartedness. And I think, that can invite sometimes, I don't know, people kind of taking advantage or sort of overpowering that person. And what they need to do is not, definitely don't forget their wisdom, and that they have got good guidance, and to tune into it rather than feel they haven't got anything to offer apart from caring, because often they can go into a kind of overly caring role for everybody and take care of everybody, but maybe to kind of tune in, allow themselves to have their wisdom and trust themselves and trust their boundaries as well. When they feel something's taking too much or overstepping, into their sort of personal autonomy or something.
Yeah. I mean,
how the two go together. Three.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because sometimes, a bit like you said, Rick, like when you're sensitive, like is not always appreciated in society, and then there's a demand as well for that caring attitude, but then there's not enough appreciation for it. So that's
like
what
NHS,
we're going beyond, isn't it?
It's like the NHS at the moment. What would we do without the angels in hospitals or whichever country you're in, and they're often taken for granted, or not by people, but sometimes by people, but by governments, who underfund their services that they're trying to do their best in, so that they are short-staffed, and at the moment they haven't got the equipment they need, and there hadn't been the funding in place and the foresight in place in order to make sure everybody had enough of what they needed, enough equipment.
Yeah. So really more appreciation for all the health workers who are, while we're all home and going, hey, this isn't so bad, we're all doing some yoga and we're all meditating. Poor old nurses are probably working like 24-hour shifts.
Yeah. And I think maybe this card is coming up because I think there is anger, there is a backlash of emotion or pressure that's builds up when you're put upon, isn't there? If you're taken for granted, that can lead to a volcanic explosion of all that kind of built up resentment, where you haven't been able to express your needs or say no. Because whilst we've got these kind of this amazing sensitivity and open heart through being kind of awake, we still do have to honour ourselves and encourage people to go within and find their own guidance as well, and find their own resources. Otherwise we could end up kind of feeling totally depleted or too angry to kind of carry on, and burn out kind of thing.
Burn out and explode.
Volcano. So one of the things in that picture is like the water and fire, and between them they kind of create this steam, but also land, in a way, new land. Was one of the things that I envisaged with that card. From the lava coming out, it was like, actually I'm creating a new potential, a new space.
Creating new space out of that explosion. And you've also fire and water elements coming together, which creates steam. Like a stick. The steam will blow you in the direction of recovering your divine abilities.
Look at the steam train. That's lovely marriage of fire and water, isn't it?
And the guidance card has got an incredibly powerful unicorn, really powerful, and not only incredibly pure, but this is a very strong. I can't imagine much stopping this unicorn once he gets going, eh?
Yeah.
Really.
And funnily enough, in the tree on the guidance card, there's like a hole, and inside is like little eyes, and that I imagined it was owls living in there.
Yeah.
You can see.
And is that Glastonbury tour behind at the back?
Glastonbury tour in the Milky Way.
Yeah.
My
Lots
dad's
of
got the
people.
original of that on his wall at home. Yeah.
Cool. How
Lots
about
of people
the
say.
You're right. Oh, you still
Some
looking
people.
for the card, Rick?
Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm just checking. I'm just looking at these three. I'm just like completely absorbed in these three.
Oh wow!
Ooh.
I wanted to go
Yeah.
to the next one.
You
I don't
guys
know if you're ready.
carry on. I'm ready to go. Yeah. We can move on to the next card. What's the next card? Number
Rainbow.
5.
So this is Vicky's card.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Lovely.
Rainbow Child. Unstoppable. New Earth Builder. Multi-talented, miraculous alchemy. Wow. There's just so much in that card. Are you going to... There's even before we pick anything up. Because, I mean, people say that the Indigo children were maybe the first, the Indigos and then the Crystals, and then now the Rainbow children are coming through. And wasn't there, again, coming back to the whole greater Tromberg thing in card number 3, I believe there was an old Hopi prophecy that when the Earth was really screwed, then the Rainbow children would come through and children of every race and paint their faces and dance and the birth of the new world.
Definitely.
Unstoppable. New Earth builder.
We felt it was people that had brought the light in through all of their chakras and had put it, had fully grounded it, through their root chakra and their earth star chakra. They'd cleared out all of the old energy that was there, and so they were like a conduit, a lightning rod for the new energies, and were going to be new age builders, new earth builders.
And it's got this, it's got an egg in the middle of the card. I don't know if, you're watching, you've got people looking at it there.
Yeah.
So in the middle of that card, you've got this beautiful egg shape.
Yeah.
And that for me is that's the egg is like the potential, and then this amazing, active, total power person is just springing out of that egg. It's amazing. Yeah. Great card.
Thank you.
Have you already pulled a card for that?
Yeah, we've pulled Cosmic Self.
Cosmic Self?
Yeah.
Wow.
It says you are a cosmic being. Stay confident in your truth. So what does that mean for the collective right now?
So I wanted to get to channel a message.
I felt the heat come in then.
to get a bigger look at that.
Okay.
Who's going to challenge a message? Oh.
Don't worry. Do you want to channel one as well, Rick?
No.
No? Not now. In your meditation, right? That felt beautiful.
Yeah.
I am Archangel Michael. Cosmic energies are upon you are a beautiful aspect that are coming in this moment, and they wait for the right moment to come into the physical. It gets easier when more density is lifted from the planet to incarnate into a new body much density is being lifted in this moment, in these times. Which creates new space. For new children. Multidimensional children. Let's welcome them on this earth, and let's realize that the collective is also an entity who is healing. The collective is a beautiful circle. The collective is us as well. Is each one of us. And we are connecting with the collective. Not on an emotional, mental level, but within the light realms. We affirm our oneness. And when these beautiful newer children come in, they lighten the load for the collective. They lighten the density. They enlighten the collective by bringing light to it. And this all happens on subtle levels, subtle dimensions. Beyond the mental egoic levels, we are all one. We are one being. And within that oneness, the rainbow children are bringing beautiful frequencies, bands of light, that are helping us to go beyond the egoic levels, to go beyond the survival levels, and to go into the heart levels. And within the present world event, there is also an energetic purification. Fear is being drawn out. It's being cleared by the angels. And that fear will be replaced by the love of the rainbow children and the golden children. And the fear that is being cleared is not an invasive clearing process. It is something that is being chosen from the higher self in a divine process. Allow this rainbow clearing to happen for you. Envision the rainbow colors coming in. The cosmic dimensions. Your cosmic self knows this process. Allow the rainbow colors to come in from these dimensions in a process of purification of all your chakras, of all those places where you've held on to anger, resentment, and survival. Allow these places to be purified now by rainbow light. And this is the rainbow light that the New Earth children use as a slide into the physical world. They are very much welcomed by the collective. On the higher realms. And slowly the collective starts to realize the value of love, compassion, and rainbow frequencies. I ask each who is aware of these energies to be in a place of compassion towards the collective. It is not possible to go from A to Z in one step. Each has to go from A to B, then from B to C, from C to D, etc. in stepping stones. And this is the process of the collective. This is the process of the soul who starts to realize that they can step out of the soul, out of the karmic processes. But first they need to go from A to B, from B to C, C to D, etc. Give them space. Give them compassion in this process. Thank you for receiving these messages. And I was also reminded to tell a little bit about our healing circle that we do each month on our websites. The Lemurian Starchild Oracle.com. We've got a subscription, and you can get a plan from just £3.33 a month. So I want to say this for everyone who's watching. And we do different cards each month, and we go in depth with like a meditation that, you know, it's got lots of value because it helps you to understand the card, but it also helps you to understand the deeper message, and it kind of guides you to relax into that message. It guides you to really absorb, you know, all that card has to offer.
Yeah,
all the healing, the wisdom. So we've done about 4 until now. And there's also a subscription that is a little bit more, where you get access to the archives as well. So I wholeheartedly recommend our healing circle. And wow, I really feel that message. That is awesome, isn't it? I can just see those rainbow children coming down to just like like so powerful, like a huge, powerful like impact kind of thing.
And I'd just like to speak to anyone out there who's really like working a lot with kids, whether it's in a pedagogic way or whether it's as a teacher, is that when you get hold of these rainbow children like this, coming up with all this amazing enthusiasm for like finding, I can't find it.
Yeah.
Amazing enthusiasm that they're coming with. In the current way of teaching in most of the schools in our world now, we're not really good at dealing with kids that jump out and go, "Hey!"
Yeah.
I know. Poor loves.
Yeah.
But it's so beautiful, that energy, isn't it?
How are you going to empower these "hey" kids to find their cosmic self, the truth of who they've come with, the truth of the wonderfully enlightened cosmic being that they've come through to as a gift to this planet? How are you going to help them to manifest their cosmic being? How are you going to help them to stay confident in their own truth? So that's an appeal to teachers and others who work with kids.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's a really good point. Yeah. And it's also just like to clarify that what we say in the book and say with the deck is that we each have an aspect of each of those children. So no one needs to be defined by one of them. Like I am a star child or something, and that's all who I am. But no, we've got all the aspects within us. And I've worked with children in a kind of after school care, and that was amazing. The job wasn't right for me in the end, but I did really enjoy just the playfulness of those children and their enthusiasm and all that. It's just such a wonderful energy, and I feel that empowerment is the key. Yeah, we just give them the feeling that they're welcome, and give them the feeling that they can create.
I was connected.
About the health service.
Sorry.
And the way that kind of been is health workers are kind of being treated, but also the way teachers are being expected to live up to some sort of national curricula to meet with certain standards which have been set by politicians to judge the schools and to limit the finance to schools by have you taught them to learn the right facts, to know the right things that society wants them to know facts, instead of somehow get them to come through this school system with that amazing joy that's coming through in that card, without doing it with a whole bunch of facts from someone else's book, not your book. But yeah, that's the
isn't that amazing? How it's become too much about that and not enough about like our intuition, our heart, and Karina said in the chat she also got the rainbow child. Yeah.
Well, I hope the children of the people in the NHS do get a chance to have kind of relaxation and playtime when all their friends are at home. I do feel sorry for them at the moment, having to go to school when everyone else isn't.
Our kids don't know what's worse.
Some kids might prefer it, I guess.
Not allowed to go to school at the moment. God, when I was a kid, that would have been like, well, hey, let's go down the park. But I don't think they're allowed to go down the park either.
No, I don't think they are. The thing that I just thought of when Archangel Michael came through was about how in the Bible they said God promised that there would never be another flood that wiped out everybody again. And he said that and Goddess sent the rainbow as a message, You know, to whenever you see a rainbow, that's like a sign of his promise. And it's interesting that the chakras are rainbow coloured, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's like.
Can you come a bit to this side?
Oh.
You go a bit out of the screen.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, just come like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've often felt, you know, with the ascension process, it's like we start to be able to operate from higher chakras and what have you. And the throat chakra is often associated with that kind of manifestation, isn't it? And there's like I don't know, something about maybe the chakra system within our beings, you know, is part of the protection that means that we don't get that total destruction thing, because lower energies generally have a chance to be transmuted before they get to the stage of coming into manifestation. And yeah, wow. I don't know what you got that card there for.
I just liked it.
Oh, okay.
And we picked it, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, the rainbow's an interesting thing. I'm just kind of fascinated, you know, about the metaphysics, you know, as well of our journeys as humans. And I thought, well, it's like a safeguard system, you know. So when we're in like lower, denser energies, those energies are kept around root chakra, sacral, solar plexus, not allowed to kind of, you know, they don't go very far. They don't come into manifestation very quickly at all. And as our vibration rises and our energy rises, it can go into more of a kind of manifesting power, you know. But and what I found myself is like, the more your visions and intentions align with the divine blueprint, the quicker they manifest, you know. And so like from just a metaphysical point of view, I find it all very interesting. And the kind of codes, you know, within the Bible as well. Obviously, the Bible's been mucked about with and what have you, considerably. But those kind of stories, I just think, oh, is there some kind of metaphor within it? You know, some kind of secret code.
The secrets behind all these magic book, all these books of wisdom. Yeah. Secrets in them. If we got time to read them. Maybe we have.
Maybe we have
that's
now. Yeah. So I wonder what people are going to plan to do with their extra time at home. Hopefully they've got nice things planned. Yeah.
Maybe some of you are doing something more sensible than me.
So what's your plan?
My plan is, I actually got out today. Today I got out because I had to go to a house cleaning, and I figured that if people are already dead, then they're not going to worry if they get the virus. So I went and did my house cleaning anyway. So I actually got out of the house for the first time for quite a long time. There were also 3 living people in the house, but they all kept a decent distance from me. And 1 living dog who chased me about all over the place. But that was great. But generally, you know, I've really been enjoying staying at home. And really, we've only got one of our 3 kids here at the moment, and her dog, and my 2 cats and my wife. So we're just really enjoying being in this environment together, and
nurturing each other.
We're doing some yoga every day, you know, and
lovely.
With a bit of healing, and then probably getting a bit too much on Facebook. A bit more than I used to. You know, I guess this is gonna be taken away next. Be the internet. You know, the internet's going to fall down. The banks are going to collapse, the governments are going to fall, and we're going to all come out and create a perfect world. I'm really looking forward to it. Don't know if it's going to take a week or 2.
Or you two got a card coming, guys.
Yeah, let's have a look. So yeah, we're the crystal child, aren't we? So we're gonna have our card now.
Do you want to pick a card, Rick?
Crystal.
I'll hover my hand over and you tell me when to stop.
Yeah, but maybe Rick wants to go.
Oh yeah, you've got your own deck there, haven't you?
Yeah, your natural core, pure innocence, removing falsehood and the seer. Wow. So that's the crystal child. With all these beautiful little double-ended, and I notice all the crystals you've painted coming out in the third eye and also coming out of the throat chakra. They're all double-ended crystals, aren't they?
Yeah. Herkimer diamonds.
Yeah. So they're both giving and receiving. Pure innocence, removing all falsehoods. And it's your natural essence. Yes. So, in relation to the collective and the current time when we're actually, the things which we're going through at the moment, as we're all locked in and being forced to look inside ourselves, to our pure innocence, essence. What's the message? The essence is the Lemurian shaman.
Oh,
interesting.
Yeah.
Shadow dissolving in gaze of truth, going beyond our fears and initiation. Again, we talked about this feeling of initiation when you were sick last year.
I think facing death is a big initiation, isn't it? Through the ages.
Yeah, and you know, Easter is coming up with that concept of going in initiation for 3 days and then coming out again and being resurrected.
Yeah.
New energy.
You know, we're talking about the initiation of the crystal child, Rick and Leah.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like the initiation of the crystal child is you're sensitive, you know, you're sensitive, and you're picking up a lot, and you're picking up a lot of fear too. You're picking up a lot of emotional, mental stuff too from the collective, from the people around you. You know, and if you're not careful, you know, you become some sort of garbage bin or something like that for everything that people are putting out. So this is about an initiation into mastery, because it's kind of like you're learning to masterfully deal with those energies and even guide someone, you know, like not take it in or anything, but guide them towards truth.
You can be like the little pink dolphin.
Whilst not taking it in.
You can be like the little pink dolphin bringing a little flower while someone's going through their kind of deep shamanic experience.
Yeah.
You can bring them a frequency of healing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people, you know, like this is about something, you know, like people put out hooks, you know.
Yeah.
Like they want to, they don't want to be responsible, you know, for their own emotional process. So they look for an empath, you know, and they put out little hooks, and if you grab onto those hooks, like, and the hook could be like guilt, you know, the hook could be like responsibility, a hook could be kind of self-sacrifice, you know, fear, all of those things, you know, and if you buy into the hooks, then the hooks kind of stay in your solar plex. So in this initiation is about, you look into your solar plex, and you see all those different hooks. Like you see which people are hooked in there, right? And you kind of ask, do I really wanna relate to those people from my solar plex, or do I want to relate from my heart and my higher self? So you kind of start looking like, do you really want to sacrifice myself to to fit in, or to fulfill the demand of how others want to see me? And really you get to a point where you start to see that this is also about self-worth and value, because those places where you felt pushed down, put down, negative self-worth is where those hooks can still hook on, because the crystal child changes the vibration of the collective. The crystal child brings in like higher vibrations and raises it. But it can also feel everyone and everything because of that sensitivity. So that's where you get into like a mastery phase, where you are radiating that vibration, but you're careful about the hooks. You're careful about like what am I gonna allow in my field, and how much am I of it am I going to allow in. Like,
I guess if you stay in your heart, does somebody's hooks, because often I think of hooks as bringing your energy down, but if you stay in your heart and observe those hooks.
Yeah, but that's when you get something about empathy, because someone can feel like a victim, someone can feel sad, someone can feel like, the world's being unjust to them, and those are all little hooks, and as an empath, and a crystal being, you can be seduced into empathizing with that person, and that's where like pew, 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 like you hooked, in your solar plex again, and you are relating from your solar plex again. So it's being very kind of discerning, like what is the heart, like sort of empathizing with someone's victimhood, is not really the heart, but it can feel like the heart because you're giving, right? But you're giving emotional energy according to that hook. So that initiation is kind of showing, the true energy of the heart, the true
staying in your truth of your heart.
The true workings of the heart.
Yeah, and when there's a massive load of people experiencing the same thing and you're feeling something different, that can be quite difficult. But obviously, it's what we're here to do, is to hold that frequency. Yeah,
or you're trying to hold your vibration in the midst of the collective going crazy. And all of that collective is going to shoot out little hooks to you in different ways.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that initiation is kind of showing you a place of stability and kind of centeredness in your own truth and your energy, your own heart. Yeah, so it's an amazing process.
And you can really, once you've got that centeredness and that initiation giving you that opportunity to really stay centered, express your own truth, you can still be compassionate without dipping down into folks' despondency and depressions. You can have compassion for people who are going through something, because to be an initiate, you've also gone through it yourself before, so you know what it's about, what they're going through.
Yeah.
That's these beautiful butterflies which are coming on.
Yeah.
That they're the symbols of transformation that are coming through in this card as well.
Yeah.
There's a butterfly close to the eye, and there's another butterfly close to the mouth. Talking about, having compassion for the things we see outside, but also allowing ourselves to really transform that,
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Stop being a worm and become a butterfly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a process that you can't force.
No, not in the slightest.
But I think by staying in the heart's truth, it sends out a frequency that helps other people to come back into their hearts, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. By staying in that energy, you're empowering others to do the same, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah.
That's why the discernment comes back, love, because it's like if you are empathizing with someone's victimhood, then you're actually giving them a way to stay in that.
Yeah.
Because you're giving that energy that they want.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So that's where you get to very fine line between compassion and empathy.
Yeah.
And in German they say suffering with, like Mitleid, or in Dutch, right? I don't know in Danish, but
in Danish they've got the same expressions for compassion. It's medfølelse, it's feeling with, and the other thing is they call medlidenhed, where you're like, no, poor you, I know it's sympathy. Terrible what happened to me.
Empathy, sympathy.
Oh, I know it's dreadful, and it just, this, what the Danish call medlidenhed is dragging both of your energies down. Where having true compassion, medfølelse, having feeling for the other person suffering, that's something different, that's the good side.
And it's kind of like with that compassion, because compassion can be standing back sometimes and can be perceived as harsh or something like that, and that's why it can be quite a journey, because compassion is not always what people expect it or what you expect it to be yourself. It can be sometimes stepping back and allowing someone to have the experience that they're having.
When I was obviously as a therapist, I felt that it's like this both and situation where somebody's truth in that moment is their truth, and you can't kind of say, don't think that or don't have that feeling, but you can scaffold them or like provide a pathway for them to come to a different perspective or a different outlook on the situation, but only really if you just in acceptance of where they're at and recognition of where they're at, whilst also recognizing where they can realistically move to in their next step, kind of thing, like you were saying, or Archangel Michael was saying about ABCDs.
Oh yeah, that's right. You communicating to someone, like looking where they're at that moment, kind of thing.
And you're holding space, aren't you, for that current kind of experience that they're having, whilst also like the both and thing of seeing that they don't have to be in that place of suffering along with and how they might come out of it, kind of thing. And it's like the third space in therapy, where you can have that reflective space of looking, rather than being so closely alongside somebody, that you don't see that kind of space of potential anymore. Yeah.
These two cards, one of the things that's really calling out to me is that in the Crystal Child, it's talking about removing falsehood.
Yeah.
And the other, in the Lemurian Shaman's talking about shadow is dissolving.
Yeah.
In the gate of truth. And there's definitely the same message coming through in these two sentences or part sentences.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Because often, you know, that victimhood, that, like continuing what you were saying, you know, that sense of victimhood or powerlessness kind of, and that can get evoked in these kind of situations, you know, is not our ultimate truth. It's an old truth from maybe our childhood or past lives or who knows where, but it isn't our ultimate truth. And when you're in the gaze of truth, the shaman, you know, is seeing what's going on. The crystal child is seeing what's going on. You know, there's it's the potential for it to be just dissolved and let go of as you start to recognise yourself.
So it's really going all the way back to the very first card we had with observe, because you know that's what in the therapy situation is really helping people to see that these old patterns, these old strategies of the hurt child, they were strategies we formed because we needed to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
But now, beyond that need, we're moving into a place where these strategies have become a hindrance.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's really that truth that's coming through the throat chakra in the crystal child. This crystal pure truth coming through the throat chakra.
Yeah.
I think this is like just about releasing the strategies of the hurt injured child. You know, the pleaser, the manipulator, the one that just hides themselves. And as Michael was saying a little bit earlier, so hard to stand in your own truth when there's just a massive collective consciousness which is freaking out. And then again, I'm thinking we're coming back to that volcano, the earth and water, with, you know, we're trying to stand in that still point when all that explosion of anger in society is going, and we're trying to stay in that still point in our truth, you know.
Yeah.
Really, really start to see the way the cards are coming together into a much more integrated flow of these things coming through now. It's great.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's one of the reasons we've set it up like this.
Yeah.
To show everyone how you can use the deck in sort of a systematic but intuitive way. Yeah, I think the reading itself came to us quite intuitively.
Yeah.
I started to lay the cards out one day and just see some connections, and we kind of developed it together.
Yeah, it was such a flow, wasn't it, of how it came through.
Yeah, so we've got one more, guys.
Okay.
And I thought maybe you want to do a little healing process too, like a little...
what, at the end? Or now?
Yeah, for Starchild.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or at the end. Whatever you prefer.
I'll see what comes through.
See what comes through, right? Yeah. What's going on for the Starchild? I consider myself a Starchild in a way as well.
Yeah.
What's going on for the Starchild?
Which one? That one. Oh.
Okay.
Crown. The crown chakra card, which has been coming up a lot this week for people on Instagram. A few people have picked that card.
Crown chakra for Corona.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's the keywords: a right to know, go beyond attachments, which we were saying about earlier, and divine alignment. So maybe this is the opportunity, for people to let go of those external attachments.
Do you get anything coming through?
Let's have a look.
I'm still looking for the card.
Lien's, we're going to see if Lien is getting a little energy healing.
Yeah, so this, I'm seeing the relationship between the crown chakra and the root chakra, and how the root chakra often holds those unconscious fears about survival, and how those then lead to attachments which block our crown chakra. And the crown chakra is saying, trust the abundance of the universe, of God. Trust. And open to new energies. Let go of the old energies that you've been clinging on to. You're building a new foundation, a solid rock of stability, of inner safety. And as you simultaneously open and trust, you receive the blessings, the love, the comfort, the unlimited energy and potentials. Everything that you need is offered, more than you can even dream of in your mind, your limited mind. And as you open and trust and bring those energies that you feel into your heart, new visions and dreams can emerge. And if you can bring your trust through any storm down into your root chakra, if you can bring those energies and stay open with whatever is emerging, just feel the love, the space, that's the holding from source. Then you can be fully in your body and fully grounding the cosmic wisdom that wants to come through you, the energies that you remember from other lifetimes in ascended communities and civilizations. You can bring those energies that are so joyful, energies of your remembering, that will bless everybody and will bring the new earth in. Now, many people might be opening and able to see the benefit of opening to a higher power, to a greater love, than they have known. And as they do so, they raise the vibration of their body and their immunity to lower energies. And in being able to do this, there's a strengthening and a widening of the channel. A brightening of the sword of truth within you. So that you can be the rainbow and you can connect with your Creator within through your heart and your upper chakras, and bringing that vibration and frequency down into the lower chakras. And always the gateway and the key is love. Self-love for where you are right now. No matter how you're feeling. Just breathe in acceptance, compassion, and care for yourself. So that you can refill your reserves and go out to your family or into the virtual reality of Facebook, connecting on the airwaves. You can go out and take that abundance of flow into the lives of others. So breathe, every day breathe some conscious breaths, connecting with Source. Feel how the Creator wants you to be a conduit through your being and your body. And allow yourself to fully receive. every day and throughout whatever challenges might emerge within the current situation. Know that you're never alone. Feel our presence. And know that you have great power to shift things in every moment. And so it is. Oh, you got the sun on you there.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Lovely and sunny, wow.
Yeah, it started shining through this window. Lovely. Coming over towards you, the sun coming from the west.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a lovely day, hasn't it? It's beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
The last 2 days were fantastic to see the blue skies after so long with clouds.
Yeah.
The sun's lovely. So yeah, yesterday was they call it Yandone. What's it in English? The equinox.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now the sun's shining. Nice.
Yeah. Well, now I'm like exhausted. I'm not supposed to be, I know, when I'm channeling, but I think it's my neuro fatigue. It makes me get tired very suddenly.
Yeah.
But that was a lovely conversation. I had to just make
good.
it a bit quiet in the background, but that was good.
Lovely.
Perfect timing.
And right to know, divine alignment, go beyond attachments. And there are no vowels, cosmic inspiration and light. And also that right to be different.
Yeah. With the star children.
Yeah, the right to be different, because we were talking a bit about standing in your truth when the collective consciousness is weighing down on us, and then we get that. Open up open up to the power of the universe, open up to the wisdom of the universe, and different. Your right to be different, and the right of other people to be different to us.
Yeah. And the cosmic energies, the inspiration and light that are within our beings through past lives on other in other dimensions or planets or galaxies.
Yeah, really,
that brings so much.
That card's really got this this feeling of these 1,000 petals of the crown, and some of them are just lighting up and really connecting, bringing in the wisdom from your previous incarnations in the other planets, in the Pleiades and Orion.
Yeah, definitely. And this one's got kind of a baby Ganesh, which is about helping us to get used to coming into the root chakra with his red hearts on his paws, which you might not be able to see.
You need to hold it a bit further away so it can focus.
Okay, so there's little red hearts, but you might not be able to see them really.
I'll get
a bit of
light on them.
And his big feet, for
rich rounded, big fat arse on the floor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, bringing that through down into the earth, into this timeline
Yeah.
that we're in.
Yeah, bringing that wisdom, the stellar wisdom, into this timeline. Yeah.
Yeah, and into the body.
Mm.
And the interesting thing, because this was kind of something that came through as it came through in a way, rather than a vision. There were aspects of it that was a vision, but the lily was interesting because it came through pink and then it wanted to have a gold edge. And I thought, oh, I've heard of gilding the lily. What does that mean? So I looked it up, and it means when people try and make something that's perfect, that doesn't need any external adornment kind of thing. You know, that's called gilding the lily. And it was kind of like saying, remember, you're perfect. You already are, you know, a perfect creation of God. So, yeah, it's like that, remembering that you are just perfect, unique creation within the full spectrum of creation.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
So the star children can really bring down the energy and also just clear out energies through the crown because of this beautiful connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because also it's interesting, the baby elephant is spraying water over them.
Yeah.
And
Having fun.
The sun had to be white with this eternal heart inside.
So this card is almost saying, you know, if you're star child, or it is saying, if you're star child, just embrace your cosmic connection through your crown
and bring it into your body,
because it's got a lot of value.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of value for the collective healing in these times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So since you're kind of
I'm all right now. It was just the initial kind of feeling.
Oh, it was just a moment.
It's past.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Right.
You know, in the Eastern lotus flower, it's got this thing in Buddhism and Hinduism, but the lotus flower, it's got its roots down in mud, in the dirt, but it's still the most beautiful flower on top. And then in this beautiful flower, got the boy and the girl, the masculine and the feminine, sitting really in harmony together. And then the halos around their head is forming like an infinity sign there.
Yes, that's right.
Uniting, aren't they? So it's a really nice symbol in that card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that we have to go beyond our attachments to come into our divine alignment.
Yeah.
Because we talked about our attachments earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
And going to the pub and distracting ourselves.
Yeah.
Going to do iPhone when we can't deal with life and stuff like that. And then we get this, go beyond your attachments to find your divine alignment.
Yeah. I mean, some people are star children or star seeds and they don't know it. And they might be attached to, you know, an idea of themselves as fairly normal. So then, you know, but actually it's so valuable to embrace this aspect, this crown connection to all the stars, and start to download the codes, start to clear the energies, start to go into the dimensions. It's all amazing, and it's much better than being sort of normal, kind of square kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so. But do you think that everyone on Earth is a star child, or do you think it's only special?
Everyone has each of these aspects.
Yeah, I think everyone has a Lemurian Starchild.
Yeah, and what I was referring to is sometimes it might be coming into someone's consciousness. It might be presenting for them, to see that aspect. And some people are like, no, I don't want to be an alien.
I don't want to
be
one of those crazy people on Facebook.
Don't want to wear a tinfoil hat or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, we are all aliens, aren't we? We've all been born on other planets before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're experiencing the karma of being reborn into the bodies that we ourselves, when we were Lemurians or Vegans or Orions or Syrians, or the genetic experimentation that they did on the primates to create the body which we're living in today. So we are the genetic engineers that created this body that we've been reborn in, as a kind of sort of weird karmic twist.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We're sort of, reverse engineering it back to the original divine blueprint.
Yeah.
It's kind of decoding, which is kind of what we're downloading from the stars, is kind of this decoding of whatever's been manipulated. And kind of decoding and recoding our DNA. When we tune to the Pleiades, when we tune to Arcturus, for example, we get these codes that help us to bring it back to, the original template of all our divine abilities. So I truly feel that, we've all got this magnificent healing power, we've got this psychic power.
Sacred gifts, yeah.
Yeah, the divine feminine, divine masculine. It's all coming in. And one of the things star children do very strongly is that kind of recovering of the DNA to its original template through downloading multi-dimensional codes, which is an amazing process. One message that we got in the healing circle as well from the Pleiades a while ago is that these codes can neutralize pathogens. So if you are in the healing circle archive, anyone who's watching, or you want to subscribe to it, you go to the episode series with the Pleiades, rising to the Pleiadian frequencies, and there's a whole transmission about neutralizing these pathogens as well. I think it was near the end, but it's worth watching all of it.
Yeah, because that's what I just got come through with this picture I've just done, was that if we radiate our light, we attenuate the pathogen, the virus. So we weaken the virus. The more we're radiating our own frequencies of light, the more the virus would be weakened within our, if it got, into us.
It was when we were sitting there. Maybe it wasn't the Pleiadians, but it was just before that.
Yeah.
Creation? Maybe.
I can't remember.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you want to know, just ask me, and I'll look it up again. But it's an interesting message, isn't it? We both got.
Yeah.
That we can bring in codes for healing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And really in that divine blueprint for perfect health in this human form.
Yeah.
That we've got.
And also being able to transcend it, where there is only for me, like when I faced death, I went beyond death, and then I'm not confined to the physical body anymore. I can kind of travel.
You can come and back.
Travel dimensions. Yeah. Oh, I remember what card that was now. Know yourself. Okay. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Travel dimensions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, as an initiation, facing death consciously, is something that really takes you into a whole new territory of loveliness.
Yeah.
Because that's when all my past lives really started coming to me.
got that to look forward to in this life.
Yeah.
We've done it all a lot of times before.
Yeah.
Face death and come through to the other side. And
Yeah. That's what.
Silly enough, come back.
Yeah. Well,
Again,
it's
that
like
was
when we say the veil is thin, it's like we've realised we're in that consciousness that there is no veil, in a way.
Yeah. The veils are thinning sort of almost by the day at the moment, because as well as we've got the virus thing going on, there's downloads coming down from the universe at the moment that are really shaking.
Yeah.
Still really tired at the moment, and probably a good idea that we're actually staying home and probably drinking more water instead of going out and drinking gin and tonics.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because you're doing your meditations, your lovely meditations, Rick. I want to mention that for the viewers, because you did one a few days ago. That was amazing. I think it's still online. And did you have one on Monday coming up?
There's one on Monday. Yeah, I'm going to be. You know, at the moment, the all these wonderful beings that are being born on this planet at the current time, and us as included, we're here because this is the most exciting time in the entire history of the universe. That for the first time ever, a planet is going through a double dimension jump from the third dimension, hopping into the fifth dimension. There are so many structures which are holding the third dimension in place, and right now as we're speaking, these structures are being dissolved. They're being taken down. The banking system, the political system, so many of the systems which hold us, even the health service is completely overloaded at the moment. All the systems which were necessary for the third dimension are being taken down at the moment, and then before the ascension is finished, some people say in 2032, maybe even sooner, we need to have replaced these by dimensions which are going to support us in the fifth dimension. And what's coming through on Monday, the meditation is really helping to build these wonderful columns of light, which are going to hold the fifth dimension energies for us. And we're going to be working together with the archangels to place the fifth dimensional columns of light in 12 places around the chakra, which are resonating at the same resonance as which our 12 chakras will resonate at when we're in the fifth dimension. So we'll be linking our different chakras to the various places around the world where the same energies are being manifest, and working with the archangels to establish these places. So it's going to be a little bit of an out-of-body journey to some of the chakra points, you know, in Fiji and in North China, and
when I was in the hospital, I kept seeing a golden column of light coming from source down into the earth. It was a thing that just kept coming up in all the journeying that I was doing. And it was really significant, you know, that is obviously something that's going to happen. And as it did, you know, what I was seeing was it was a really strong energy spin as well, and anything that was not in flow with that would just kind of be it wouldn't hold together because it didn't have the strength. It would kind of blow apart, sort of thing. And I think, you know, the structures of society aren't suitable to kind of carry the energy of source and divine blueprint, so they have to kind of crumble, don't they, and dissolve.
So on Monday we'll be helping the archangels to establish these pillars of light in the 12 chakra points around the planet, amongst other places Glastonbury, which is the heart chakra.
Brilliant.
So,
we'll definitely join in then.
And you were saying about the seventh dimension in the last meditation. I thought that was very interesting. Kind of like seven-dimensional light coming in to facilitate this transformation. Is that right?
Yeah. There's the higher dimensional lights coming in. Amongst them, the seventh dimensional light, which has really got that feeling of really looking at the angelic perspectives of what's going on and seeing things through the eyes of the angels. And whenever I try and go any higher than that, it kind of gets a bit spacey.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And even in the seventh dimension, you probably realise that everything was just energy anyway. But when you try and go any higher, it all gets a bit too spacey for me. But we'll see what we can do on Monday.
See how high we go, right?
Yeah,
it's a real balance.
Yeah, and the important thing being to bring it back down to earth.
That's the thing, isn't it? Because higher is not always better. It's about the integration.
Yeah, exactly. We need to bring it into earth, and that's what the journey is about at the moment. And trying to get these high-dimensional energy structures in place, so that there'll be the support for us in the higher dimension when the structures holding us in the lower dimension fall apart completely.
Yeah.
There's a new etheric structure ready to build on.
So what time is your meditation on Monday? And is it in English?
That will be in English. I'll be speaking English, and it's going to be at 7 o'clock in the evening in Denmark, so that will be 6 o'clock in England.
Okay, so 6 UK time, everyone. And I want to really recommend Rick's meditation because it's a few days ago I was tuning in and I was inviting lots of friends through Watch Party because I really felt the energies flowing there. Wow, it's very powerful, Rick.
Yeah, and some of your friends joined us and have written very nice things to me since. So thank you for inviting your friends, and I hope that you and your friends will all join me again on Monday.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I realise I'm not very good at technology. Like, I haven't really realised that every time I look at you over there on my screen, it looks like I'm looking in the opposite direction.
Oh, so well, you're getting better at it, right?
It looks like you've been looking at us.
I should look and just point my...
Don't worry, Rick. Everyone can learn the technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you learn to look at the camera as well. I learned to look at the camera.
That's right. I can't even hold a card in front of the camera without it going in the wrong place.
Oh, it's hard.
It's because of the mirroring.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what we were talking about earlier, the mirroring, that we're all in this mirroring thing, that everyone who's listening, the messages that came through today is for everyone because we're all in the same situation. That was a really cool thing. And what was so beautiful for me with it, because, when I got these cards, I could tell that these cards are so powerful. But, if I got 20 minutes, I'm going to go and get one from Carl Gray or Doreen Virtue because, tick, 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 tick. Oh, look, God loves me. Jesus loves me. Oh, Kachumi says I should be a teacher. That's nice and easy. That's 10 minutes, right? But I take one of these cards and I'm at it for hours, Like I was at it all night. Yeah, last night, preparing for this, I got the Divine Feminine, and that was really reading through that and then going deeper into it. It was taking me all the way back, seeing that in my genetic makeup, there's genetically engineered from both from both Vega and from Lyra. It's that old. The genetics in us have been coming really in the absolute first people, and there's so much conflict between the part within our genes from Vega and the part within our genes from Lyra. This is like all the wars that went on in Orion. It's all coming into us, and this is the conflict. that the divine feminine really all through the night was really holding me and just allowing me to release and forgive the inner conflict which is coming from
that is very interesting, Rick. And because the conflicts that play out in the world, or getting back to harmony might be a better way to say it, is all related to the cosmic aspects that are getting back to harmony. And I find it so interesting that you get these kind of cosmic memories. I haven't had that myself so much, but it's interesting you're tapping into that and bringing that back to harmony.
It's coming in because it's useful for your healing, isn't it?
And releasing. It's good coming because I need to, I need to go in and heal the different sides of my personality, and bring them into harmony, have that inner marriage between the divine masculine and divine feminine. So in the night I was really going into the divine masculine and divine feminine, which I've been working on for years, just trying to get my inner divine masculine and divine feminine to talk to each other took me ages using shamanic techniques, but last night it had gone so far that they actually got married.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's brilliant.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. Wow.
We woke up and the sun was shining. And actually, when they were the divine masculine and feminine were going to get married, they were going to put, like in the old Viking times when they put a cloth around the two hands.
Oh, hand fasting. Yeah.
We have like a ring. And then I said, no, we don't need any cloth. We don't need a ring. Being in harmony doesn't mean to say you own each other.
Yeah.
So no rings, no cloths, none of these symbols for ownership.
Yeah.
Just do that and just go into the harmony of being one with your inner masculine and inner feminine. So that was, and that's what I'm saying about these cards, is that it's the brilliant side, but it's also the reason that sometimes if I've got 20 minutes, I go to like Carl Gray or Doreen Virtue, because I can't deal with one of these cards in 20 minutes.
It's a whole different energy, and it's a whole different way of using it, and kind of a depth to it, and I feel that the deck, the right people find the deck. It comes to the right people in divine timing, and it's just a beautiful process.
It's a really good tool, and now I'm starting to see the way you used it today, and I can really see the connections between the progression in the cards that we've drawn, but both the first 7 cards, the 7 heart cards that you put out first, and then also the cards that came with them. I can start really seeing the progression in that. So I think it's a really good tool for self-development and for going deeper and deeper into your process. So thank you very much.
Yeah,
thank you.
Just one little thing I want to say for people who are seeing this, like, you can find this reading both in the book, in the chapter about the layout, and we've also got it as a downloadable PDF on the website. So just go to the website menu, first menu, and you can download the layout, and or just look it up in the book, and you can do it yourself. But we've really enjoyed this.
Yeah,
it's been really great to connect, Rick.
Yeah,
really amazing. And
thank you for making these great cards. And thanks for inviting me to play with you today.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, hasn't it?
All right, let's say goodbye to all the people who are watching. It's been lovely to connect. Namaste, and see you all soon. All right, bye bye.